Hey, it's Dan McDonald. I'm the Life Regenerator here on YouTube, and I want to thank you very much for joining me for today's episode of the Life Regenerator Show. Today, I'm going to be making a side effects detox tonic, okay? More and more of my friends are telling me about all the side effects that they're experiencing, and I want to help them to get healthy by removing those obstructive elements. I have an incredible recipe here today that I want to share with you. So get your popcorn, your cauliflower popcorn, or your little snack or your little juice, lay back and enjoy the show. So today what we've got is a detox tonic, man, because we got to get it out. Otherwise, the reproductive organs, I got friends all wonked out, crazy ass periods. I got stroking friends. I got paralyzed friends. I mean, crazy times we living in right now. And I'm just saying to everybody, man, like a lot of people I know are sick. And so that's why I do what I do. And I'm going to talk about this stuff today on how to just keep it always clean, always clear, always bright. Can you dig it? Wash it away, clean it away, electrify it away, oxygenate it away, sunshine it away, breathe it away, sweat it away, but just live clean. Can you dig it? So what I've got today for the detox tonic: apple, celery, fennel. Fennel's very important, okay? In this particular recipe, as is the cilantro. So apple, celery, ginger, lemon, fennel, cilantro, cucumber, mint. Okay, I think I said it all, so let's rock and roll this thing. Apple is the energy. Apple pectins clean the blood and the liver and keep the gallbladder clean. I got a question. I'm going to do a Q&A here. I got a million questions. The funniest one was the guy that was like, he said, well, it wasn't even a question, it was a statement. Those rocks are fake from the last workout video. The rocks and the logs were fake, you know. And I thought, wow, YouTube is really such an interesting place, because would I really go to Walmart and buy like fake styrofoam rocks and then be like, oh, yeah, and then it's like, how could you fake that? And then the noise of the thud. Anyhow, there was another lady, and I've said this 9,000 times. What I've learned after being on YouTube for 12 years is that you basically are here to answer the same questions over and over and over again, because number one, repetition, and number two, there's always new people asking the same simple questions that need to be answered. So there's a lady who had her gallbladder taken out, and I was just like, yo, what do you do when you have your gallbladder taken out? You, number one, eat as much of your foods raw, fresh, raw, living foods as you possibly can. And number two is you take enzymes with every single meal, because that is what your gallbladder is. The enzymes run the whole thing, you know, they're the biocatalysts for life. And as soon as we wipe them away from stress, is pretty much one of the biggest things. And the cooked foods, overeating, is huge. I mean, it takes a lot of enzyme activity to the big piles of Thanksgiving and stuff like that. And that's one of the reasons why everyone is sick this time of year, because of the mucus buildup from the holidays. And then what happens is the alkalinity of the cooler air. Plus, we've been living in a clown show of stress, and everything's backwards, where we're not allowed to exhale and we're breathing in the carbon dioxide all the time. So you want to make sure that you're breathing, because what you have is a barrel full of waste coming out every time. And then you need to be walking, and then you get another barrel full, a big barrel full. Like, this is how much breath you take in, like, okay, check it out. It's like this. Look. And then, right there, see, so you need that much space. A circle of, like, you need a big giant amount of room to exhale the waste matter from your blood metabolism and inhale the fresh air to refresh the scarlet or the purple blood. And so the thicker that the blood gets, the darker that it is. You want nice, bright red crimson blood filled with oxygen. And that's the key to the whole thing for everybody. So I know I sound like I'm repeating myself, or maybe that I'm, Mr. Fancy Pants or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, I like to live this way because I think this way, because I don't really like to be sick, especially with what's going on these days, because if you get unwell, then you go and you get medical care, it could get worse. Because a lot of times they don't know about oxygen, they don't know about mucus, they don't know about pathogens, they don't know about anaerobic environments, they don't know about metabolic waste. So they don't really understand the underlying precursors of disease in any way, shape, or form. All they understand is symptomology. So when you go and you get that medical care, it's like going to the mechanic, and the mechanic just slaps a piece of tape over the check engine light. Obviously, that's not the way to go. You want to get at there and get at the root of the problem. In your relationships, you want to get at the root of the problem. In your health, you want to get to the root of the problem. In your finances, you want to get to the root of the problem. If everything isn't the way you want it to be, then you got to get to the root of the problem. And that's kind of like the blessing that I've had in my life, is that I'm a get to the root of the problem kind of a guy and chop it out. That's why I love the spiritual path. You know what I mean? Because you get to the root of the problem, you chop it out, and it doesn't grow back. Even if the tree falls over, if the roots aren't taken out, the tree's just going to keep on growing. You know what I'm saying? So, now all your problems are laying on their side, but the branches are still going up, because you've got to get to the root of the problem. And that can take a lot of work, a lot more than most of us apparently as human beings are willing to do. But it's the only thing that really leads to joy. Plus, the repetition of banging your head against the wall in misery and sadness and suffering and pain and depression and stress really kind of sucks. I'm just kind of like an alien on planet Earth. I know that. But I'm just not a real big fan of stress. So that's why I like the simple life. I just like that energy to be good and healthy and peaceful as much as possible. I mean, I've had enough of my own problems, but it was really the pain and the suffering and the sadness and the suicidal tendencies that made me think of I had to get a new way, because all the drugs and all the distractions, they just stop working after a while, especially as you become more conscious, and then you're more aware, and you're like, well, I can't really lie to myself anymore. I can't really pretend like this is actually helping. I can't pretend these pills are helping. I can't pretend these smokes are helping, these drinks. I can't pretend that eating my problems away or gambling them away or humping them away or distracting them away or social media them away or all the other stuff. And you pretty much want to get realistic with yourself if you can. That's just my advice. Like if you're here watching my videos and because that's what has really worked for me. And we all go through challenges, and they're there as part of the process of evolution if you use them properly, because they'll bring up all the stuff you're not paying attention to, all the things that are sort of harbored in the darkness of your own psyche, the operating system that's going on just below the surface. And so you want to become more aware so you can start, sort of witnessing the operating system, how it works, and you can have insight and revelation, and then you can slowly make plans to dig yourself out of it, and you'll win some days and you'll lose some days, but as long as you stay the course, you'll continue to evolve and become stronger, and then you'll learn about what it is, all the different ways that you get in your own way, because really you don't have any enemies except for your own inner ignorance and lack of knowledge. Nobody can really stop you. As much as they want to try to convince you, they have to get you to choose it. That's the thing. They're not coming to your door forcing it. They're just trying every kind of coercive method that they have. They want to coerce you, is fine. In Satanism, coercion is fine, but not force. Trick you, yes. Force you, no. Evil wants you to choose it, even if it's coercion. So you just fill yourself with the light of truth, and you make a firm decision, I'm never going to do that, ever, because there's no way in hell, and I'll fight you till the death to make sure that's the case. And then the universe is just like, okay, well, let's move him through unscathed, because he knows his trajectory, and there's no question, you know what I'm saying? So I'm one of the ones that knew from the very beginning, because I've looked at 200 years of this business. You know what I'm saying? And I know that society believes in it, but I don't. Not in 200 years, because I don't believe, I do not believe that intramuscular infusions can lead to health in any way, shape, or form. I better be careful, actually. And so people are asking me, where do you talk about this stuff? I don't really anymore. I am a little bit now today, because I talked to a few friends and they're not well. And they need to detoxify this stuff that they did from now. There's a lot of regret, because there was a lot of coercion and there was a lot of different things going on that led to people feeling like they needed to acquiesce to things that they normally might not do. And there's a lot to it. It's a huge, long story. I kind of quit talking about it. I did talk about it quite a while on the Patreon, but I just don't even talk about it anymore, because I figured by now either you got it or you don't. But I see that some of my friends, I thought they would know better. It's a little bit shocking, to be honest, but I do understand all the pressure and whatnot. I'm just a lone wolf. I've always thought for myself. Always will too. Did I mention cucumber? I think I might have left that out. Anyhow, somebody transcribe all that down below. You got to go back to the beginning. Apple, cucumber, celery, fennel, ginger, lemon, mint, cilantro. And that is a detox tonic, and I'm going to add a couple of herbs here to boost it to the next level. Can you dig it? So here's the final power blast. So you got all that, and that's just living liquids for blood purification. The fennel has the shikimic acid in it, which is the neutralizer of the protein. Okay, so that neutralizes that. Wheatgrass has it in there. Carrots have it in there. Always with the fresh raw foods have the medicines, but then if you cook it, you really diminish about 90 to 95% of all the medicinal qualities in the living plant foods and herbs. And the herbalists were always the ones that had the best methodology when it came to healing and regeneration, because the plants have consciousness. That's why essential oils are epic, and you can use those. That's why fresh raw plants and juices are awesome, and herbs. So that was the little juicy juice. I wanted to make a 32 ouncer today, a little bit more, but it's all good. Now what I'm gonna do, I think this is from this morning. Just went to an epic yoga class. Yoga, sweat it out, baby. Infrared sauna. But everyday yoga, never get sick. Hot yoga, everyday hot yoga, never get sick. Everyday raw living foods, never get sick. Everyday enzymes, never get sick. Can you dig it? Too many people sick, you know? I like what I do because it's a real investment. That's the only thing I really have, you know, it's just health, you know, because I was so busted up. You know, most people are like already there. They're like, I'm fine, you know, and they don't really have to do anything. But I was so busted up, I created this trajectory, and then the YouTube thing came, and then I became sort of this example. But it really wasn't about that. It was more about, you know, then it became about the consciousness. Now I can see, but then I like the energy because I don't want to get sick. I don't like to lose a day. I'm having fun on planet Earth. I'm really having fun, even during this time and whatnot. It's like, I'm not going to let any of this stuff bother me because I already knew that it wasn't even real from the very beginning, you know, and none of it was ever real to me. So that kind of protected me, whereas a lot of my friends and stuff were like, oh, it's real. You know, so there's people that are really, really into it, and it's like sickness as a virtue. All hail the scary, scary invisible monster. All cover up and spray yourself with Lysol and be afraid. And then there's people that are like, well, you know, I don't know, I'm getting a little bit of, you know, I'm going to acquiesce halfway and sort of believe in it. And then there's a small, rare group that's like 100% psyop, none of it's real, you know. And then you're protected because your mind creates reality. You know, you create your own reality. Your thoughts make up the world, and your emanations attract to you what you're going to see and feel and experience. So you want to be the one who's in control of your own emanations and your own thoughts, and you watch them. And that's why awareness is so good, and that's why living foods is so good to reactivate sensitization And the fasting is good, and the yoga is good, and anything you do, Tai Chi, Qigong, Kung Fu, hiking in the woods by yourself, chanting a mantra, whatever. Anything that brings you back into awareness and allows you to expand is going to help you to see the outer world, because you can see the inner world, the makings of the inner world. And the inner world is the most important, because no matter what's going on in the outer world, through your inner navigational system, your GPS, your own inner guidance system, your guru positioning system, your inner guru guiding you from your own awareness, as to turn left, turn right. I mean, that's how I ended up here. I'll have to tell the story because people want to know, why'd you leave Hawaii and stuff like that. And in Hawaii, it's still being celebrated. I mean, they are really, really, really love it over there. They love sickness. They love disease. They don't care about economies, people's lives, livelihoods. They worship sickness and disease over there as a religion, more than probably anywhere else. California's a trip, New York is a trip, but over here, it's cool, man. Let's go, Brandon. That's how we roll here. You can see it, every bumper sticker. Let's go, Brandon. Anyways, the politics, it's everybody in a rip and rage because everyone's been lied to so much. They don't know what to believe anymore, and it triggers their deepest unconscious, unresolved issues, because everyone believes in their own beliefs. But what you want to do is get into the absolute state, and you're like, I don't even believe in my own beliefs. I just sit up here like a little puppet and say a bunch of words and do a bunch of weird stuff that's my real life right here. Not that I need to detox any of the stuff, but they do spray it in the sky, actually. You'd be surprised at all the weird things that are actually happening on planet Earth right now. Most people are woefully unaware. But then you create these programs and systems where you're like, I'm going to roll through this thing unscathed, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to let it all build up. You're constantly working at it and using solutions and solvents and herbs to detoxify. So you take your juice recipe. Now, the key ingredient right here to the dispersion and elimination of the oxide, okay, leave it at that, boom, is this oxygen here. This is the number one key to the detoxification of the regrets for the side effects that are manifesting, because there's different types of things that are affecting the reproductive glands in there, nanolipids, and you've got the self-assembling nanoparticles, and that's what's causing the nerve damage, because the nerve is electrical system. So these self-assembling nanoparticles go right there to the nervous system and latch on, and they also have little microscopic antennas, and then there's the 5G, and it's wonderful. So I'll be quiet because I don't want to, because I'm not like afraid, but it's like, it's not worth it. Like, I would lose it, and it's so easy. And like 1 or 2 or 3 people or whatever, it doesn't even matter. It's a distant memory. It's just kind of fun. It gives me a context, just because I talked to my friends yesterday and they were like, oh, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. I'm like, damn, dude, I'm just lucky. None of that stuff is happening to me. I haven't ever been sick this whole time. I haven't even been sick in like 8 years. I got food poisoning 8 years ago at Woodstock Fruit Festival. And I never really went back either, because it wasn't their fault. I didn't want to say anything, but it was just like when the newbie chefs come in there and they don't know what they're doing, they're going to toss in a rotten piece of food, and then it's going to sit in these tubs all day as we wait for the meals, these big giant tubs at room temperature, and then the bacteria are going to be in there from the rotten piece of whatever, because there's massive amounts of food involved. It's not like here where I chopped a few little pieces of stuff off and I peeled the cucumber, you know what I mean? So that I can be aware of the details in my own little personal private thing. But when it's massive volume like that, there's problem. Everyone got it. My immune system was super low because at the time of all the crap that was going on in my life. So then I say, eliminate stress. Don't put up with crap with anybody. Make your life how you want it to be. Set up some kind of sanctuary and roll. Easy, effortlessly. Okay, so there's the oxygen. That's the key, okay, to dissolving and eliminating that particular self-assembling nanoparticle, kind of like a circuit board, kind of like used in all different types of medical devices for the last 20 years. So very well researched, very well studied, very well understood. Basic, simple, common sense, but not that common. People don't do a lot of research in alternative sites, and the alternative sites are really the only place you're going to ever get the truth, because there's a plan and you really ain't the winner at the end of that game. You see what I'm saying? You're actually end up being the loser. And then a very small, very unwell group of little tiny old white fat men sitting around a table planning your life because they don't have anything else to do and they have tons of money. So it's a little video game, board game. So, you know, play the game and win, because there's still organic apples and celery and cilantro, and you can get the fulvic minerals here. Minerals, man, which is a chelator. And then what you have is, then you use the Lifezyme here to activate everything and just take it to a whole new level. I need a spoon. I add a tablespoon of that. Then I give the whole thing a whirl, and you've got a nice Detox Tonic. Can you dig it? And then with that, you take the purification of the herbal blood here. I take 8 of those. That's my lucky number. That's what I recommend on all my protocols for all my people. 8, 8, 8, the number of eternity. Can you dig it? All right. That's herbal blood. Anti-parasite, antiviral, antifungal, antibacteria, anti-parasite. And believe me, my fellow brothers and sister human beings have plenty of those things living inside there. The waste matter that they haven't eliminated yet. And it's a frequency, energetic thing from deep down inside. So that's why you want to always keep raising your frequency. I know you can't go too high or you'll leave your body, but and a lot of people don't want to do that. Some people don't mind though. They're just like, see ya, I'm out of here. You know, it depends on how much you suffered and how attached you are to the earth and your karma and stuff like that. Finally is the cleanse here. I got the cleanse caps and the cleanse powders. This is the binder. So the cilantro and the oxygen, and then you've got the shikimate acid and the fennel, and those are loosen everything up, and the enzymes loosen everything up, and the minerals help to loosen everything up through the conductivity. So it's a whole tonic. And then this, all that's loosened up, then you take the cleanse, and this cleans everything out, pulls it all out, because most waste comes out the urine. A lot of waste will come out through the gastrointestinal tract though, because the lymph does drain back in there. So you always want to keep your colon as clean and clear as possible. And there's nothing better than these herbs from Pyridime that are going to latch on and bind and pull and detox. It's a little bit bitter, so you've got a nice astringent pulling, tightening factor if you are kind of overweight or whatever, or your colon is kind of dropping out. You want to use the cleanse and rebounding and yoga and stretching and regeneration of all the tissues so that you can thrive, baby. Thrive, thrive, thrive on every level. Love it.